I recently interviewed Ciscoe Morris, who is a gardening expert. And in our interview, I taught him all about mason bees, and he taught us what to plant in spring for early pollinating blooms for mason bees. We also had a great conversation about leafcutter bees. As you know, those are the summer pollinators, and I wanted to share just that portion of the interview about Ciscoe Morris and I talking about leafcutter bees. So let's take a look at that and stay tuned afterwards, and I'll teach you a little bit more on how to transition from your mason bees to your leafcutter bees. So yeah, so leafcutter bees are your summer pollinators. They are teeny tiny, like the size of my pinky. They're itty bitty, and they're also solitary bee and amazing pollinators.
Oh, it's fun to watch them chewing in the leaves.
Yes, that's a leafcutter nesting chamber.
Look at that.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow, that is. Yeah, so if you see a little round hole, first you see the oval. They take a bunch of ovals. I've seen this when I directed grounds care at Seattle University a lot of times. And they'd make a hole in the ground, put the leaves together, the ovals, and then stick a bunch of the little circles on top. It's so fun to watch them chewing the leaves, and it doesn't do any harm to anything.
Thank you. Wait, can you say that again?
No harm. It doesn't hurt the plant.
Doesn't hurt the plants.
A little bit.
Yes, but what you're doing is that you're providing nesting material for these bees to flourish and really do well. And she takes that leaf, Ciscoe, and she crawls into that hole all the way in the back, and she chews it and makes it really pliable. She squishes it up around the edges, goes and gets a couple more, then she lays pollen. She sprinkles that loose pollen all off on inside, makes a pollen loaf, lays a tiny egg, gets more leaves. It takes her about 4 to 5 hours. I call them little leaf sleeping bags.
Wow.
So this is a little leaf sleeping bag.
Oh, so this is a leaf cutter.
That's a leafcutter baby inside there.
There's one in there. I hope I didn't squish it.
No, it's good. You're good. I teach with all of these when I'm out there teaching. So that is a little
so cool.
Yeah, so they're amazing little pollinators. So any questions that I may not have covered about mason bees that I can help answer?
Well, one thing I want to tell people about carpenter bees is that, so these are doing pollinating later in summer. So if you're growing squash, cucumbers, anything like that, the bee has to go from the male flower that doesn't have a little squash under it to the female flower that always has just a little squash at the base of the flower. And so many people now talk to me at my garden talks and go, my squash grew 6 inches and then it just rotted.
Yeah. It's
because they're not getting pollinated. So if you've got somebody like this at work in the garden, you're going to get way better pollination. And you're going, you know what happened to me the other day?
What?
Somebody rang my doorbell last summer. I opened the door, no one's there, and I looked to the side, and here's this 4-foot zucchini sitting there. I suffered a drive-by zucchini.
Oh my gosh!
So you got to harvest those zucchinis if you're going to use these bees.
Well, and that's a leafcutter bee. They're your veggie bees. They were your veggie garden. You want the leafcutter bees.
Yeah.
They're tiny, and they get those little flowers.
Yeah, they're wonderful. They're great pollinators.
Yeah. That was such a fun interview that I got to do with Ciscoe Morris, and I just really appreciate him taking the time to help us learn more about what to plant in our gardens to support pollinators. You can watch the full segment, the full interview. He had me on my toes. We had so much fun, and his stories were amazing. I'll link the full video down below in our notes where you can follow along, or just visit our YouTube channel at Rent Mason Bees, and you'll see the Ciscoe Morris. It's Ciscoe Morris, the blooms and the bees. But if you do have mason bees and you are ready to transition to leafcutter bees, it's a very simple transition. Mason bees only live 6 to 8 weeks, and once they're done at the end of spring and you stop seeing the mason bee activity, or your block is full, which mine almost is, you're very gently just going to remove your mason bee nesting block. You're going to store it with the holes upright in a cool garage or shed. It doesn't need to be temperature controlled. Then you're going to take your leafcutter bee block and you're just going to place it right into your mason bee or into your black house. Now, if you're in a hot state, you might want to put your black house somewhere where it gets morning sun, but then it gets a little shady in the afternoon. If you're in the Pacific Northwest and in the cooler states, you can put this directly in the sun. They need to warm up. leafcutter bees love 75-degree temperatures. So go ahead and place this out. The leafcutter bees, as you know, they hibernate in the larvae stage. So it's going to take them a while to emerge, about 4 weeks in hot weather, and then they'll emerge and pollinate your veggie gardens. So if you have any questions, please reach out to info@rentmasonbees.com. Again, I have a ton of videos on our YouTube channel. I will link more leafcutter bee videos down below as well. But feel free to follow us, like, and subscribe, and happy pollinating. Thank you. Bye.